So over the last couple weeks, we have been dealing with everything in vertex form, right? We've found our key features in vertex form. We found our vertex. We've graphed everything in vertex form. Agree with that? We're going to go back to graphing, but we're going to look at graphing in standard form. Okay, so we're going to be graphing in standard form. Now, we should be able to identify A, B, and C because we've been doing that all semester. What does A tell you in vertex form? What information does A give you in vertex form? So, up, down is what? Orientation. And then the shape, which is compression or stretch. It is the same thing with standard form. Okay, so I can look at A, which is the number in front of x squared, and I can identify the orientation and the shape. Once you know the vertex and the orientation and shape, you can fill in the rest of the key features, right? Because you need the vertex to fill everything else in. Do you agree with that? Okay. So, again, we're going to be dealing with standard form. Just like before, we need to be able to find the vertex of our equation in order to create a table of values and graph. To find the x value of our vertex, we're going to use negative b over 2a. To find the x value of the vertex, we're going to use negative b over 2a. What else does the x value of the vertex tell us? Nice job. So the x value also tells us the axis of symmetry. Once we know the x value of the vertex, we're going to plug that answer back into our equation to solve for y. Okay, so find the x value, plug it back in to solve for y, and then you'll be able to do everything like you've done before. So it's not as nice as vertex form where it's there and you just have to read it. You actually have to do a little math to get it now. Everyone okay with that? Okay, it's not too bad. We're going to do the first couple together anyway. So before we actually find the vertex for number 1, let's identify our A, B, and C. We should be good at that. What's A? Negative 1. What's B? Negative 8. And C?
Negative 17.
Okay. And we don't need C for this, but it's just good practice because you'll need to be able to identify A, B, and C for your final. So to find the x value of the vertex, I'm plugging it into negative b over 2a. Plugging it into negative b over 2a. So if I plug in negative b, I have a negative, and I'm plugging in negative b, so it becomes positive. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All over 2 times negative 1. Or 8 over negative 2, which is 8 divided by negative 2? Negative 4. So the x value of my vertex is negative 4. So it takes a little bit of math, but that math should not be difficult. And then how do we find y? Plug it in. So we're going to plug this in. If you mess up, this is where it's going to happen. So you need to make sure you are showing me your work, at least for right now. 1, so that you get credit on your assignment. When it comes to a test, if you think you can do it in your head, you do you, but I don't recommend that. Okay, so y equals, I have the negative, and I'm plugging in negative 4 everywhere I see an x. You'll notice that I include the parentheses, because that's going to make a huge difference, especially where I have to square it. So negative, and then negative 4 squared minus 8 times negative 4 minus 17. Order of operation says what comes first? Negative 4 squared. What's negative 4 squared? 16. And then don't forget that negative that's on the outside. That's going to drop down. Negative 8 times negative 4? Negative 8 times negative 4? Positive 32. And then minus the 17 at the end. This would be a great place to use your calculator so you don't mess it up. If you don't need to, that's fine. Negative 16 plus 32? 16. And 16 minus 17? Negative 1. So the y value of my vertex is negative 1. Can you tell me what the axis of symmetry is? X equals negative 4. Remember, do not forget your x equals. Now, it doesn't ask for this, but we're going to go through it. What's the orientation of this graph? Down, because A is negative. What's this shape?
No change.
No change, because A is 1. Good. What's the domain? All real numbers. What's the range?
Less than or equal to negative 1.
Okay. So I heard like half greater than or equal to, half less than or equal to. Why is it less than?
Because the slope is facing down.
Because your graph is facing down. Okay, so y is less than or equal to negative 1. Do I have a maximum or a minimum? Maximum at what value? Negative 1. So your key features are exactly the same. The difference is you have to calculate the vertex instead of just being able to read it. It's a little more work. But everything else is the same. Once you know your vertex, can you create a table of values? Yep, because it's the exact same way we've done it before. Okay, you just have to do a little bit of math. All right, let's try the next one together. What is A? B? And C. Okay? So I'm plugging it into negative B over 2 times A. This is negative, plus I'm plugging in a negative 8. So it becomes a positive 8. All over 2 times 2, or 8 divided by 4 is 2. That is the x value of your vertex. To find y, we're going to plug it in. So y equals 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 minus 12. 2 squared is 4. Oh, I'm writing out an extra step. Okay, 2 times 4. 8. Negative 8 times 2. Negative 16 minus 12. What's your question, hon? You figured it out? Okay. Okay, so 8 minus 16. Negative 8. Negative 8 minus 12. Negative 20. Now, you can probably skip like this step here and plug it in. You can probably plug this whole thing into your calculator. That's fine too. You just have to be careful you keep the parentheses. Okay? And then what's my axis of symmetry? X equals 2. Awesome. All right, I would like you to try number 3. Find the vertex and the axis of symmetry. You can do it. I have faith. Okay, what is A?
1.
What is B? And then C is 0. So remember, AX squared plus BX plus C. I know we've done a lot this semester with standard form, so you are going to have to be able to determine when you use what. Okay? But in standard form, A, B, and C are always in the same order. So if I plug it into negative B over 2A, I have a negative and a negative 4, which gives me positive 4. All over 2 times 1. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. That's the x value of my vertex. To find y, I'm going to plug it in. So y equals 2 squared minus 4 times 2. 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So you should get negative 4. What's the axis of symmetry? Great. How do we feel with that? Good? Okay.